Hello everyone, welcome back to another scary Reddit story reading. Today, thanks to Demand, aka my lovely boyfriend, we're going to do scary forest Reddit stories. Just like last time, I'll have it pulled up on the screen, so if you want to read along you can. But I think you'll like what you're in for today, so let's get started. Oops, didn't mean to bump you guys. So, for the first one I found today, it's called I am a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service, and I have some stories to tell. It was by u/Search and Rescue Woods. From 2015, 10 years ago. Kitty, quit it. We got the cat in the room. Beautifully honored guest, but a pain in my butt. So, grab a blanket, get snuggled up, and let's begin reading. Let's see. I wasn't sure where else to post these stories, so I figured I'd share them here. I've been an SAR officer for a few years now, and along the way, I've seen some things that I think you guys might be interested in. I have a pretty good track record for finding missing people. Most of the time, they've just wandered off the path or slipped down into a small cliff, and they can't find their way back up. The majority of them have heard the old stay where you are thing and they don't wander far, but I've had 2 cases where that just didn't happen. Both bother me a lot, and I use them as motivation to search even harder on the missing person cases that I get called on to. The first was a little boy who was out berry picking with his parents. He and his sister were together. Both of them went missing at the same time. Their parents lost sight of them for a few seconds, and in that time, both of the kids apparently wandered off. When their parents couldn't find them, they called us, and we came out to search the area. We found the daughter pretty quickly, and when we asked her where her brother was, she told us that he'd been taken away by the bear man. Don't like the sound of that one. She said he gave her berries and told her to stay quiet, that he wanted to play with her brother for a while. The last she saw of her brother, he was riding the shoulders of the bear man and seemed calm. Of course, our first thought was abduction. Yeah, because what else would you think? That Sasquatch showed up? Let's see. But we never found a trace of another human being in the area. The little girl was also insistent that he wasn't a normal man, and that he was tall and covered in hair like a bear. It is Sasquatch. And he had a weird face. Kitty, quit it. She's such a pain in my butt. If I'm not giving her attention, she'll just start destroying things in the room. How dare I record? How dare I try to make money to get you treats? Such a horrible cat mom. How dare I do YouTube and try to get you wet treats? Let's see, where was I? We searched the area for weeks. It was one of the longest calls I've ever been on, and we didn't find a single trace of that kid. The other was a young woman. Oh, they never found the kid? Oh, that sucks. There's no ending to that. I think I've heard that story before, though. According to the mother... No, wait. Where'd it go? Oh, the other was a young woman who went out hiking with her mom and her grandpa. According to the mother, the daughter had climbed up a tree to get a better view of the forest, but she'd never come back down. They waited at the base of the tree for hours, calling her name, before they called for help. Again, we searched everywhere and never found a trace of her. I have no idea where she could possibly have gone, because neither her mother or grandpa ever saw her come down. What happened in the tree? Hold on, I gotta get the cat. She's being a turd. Man. Not nice. You apologize to the viewers right now, Missy. Okay, I'm back. She is in kitty cat timeout. Okay, and we're back. She's in cat timeout. Let's see. I have heard of cougars, like, being up in trees and, like, you know, leaving their prey up there, but if they never found her, like, someone had to have climbed up the tree to check. Okay, the next one. A few times I've been out on my own searching with a canine, and they've tried their best to lead me straight up cliffs. Not hills, not even rock faces, straight, sheer cliffs with no possible handholds. It's always baffling, and in those cases we usually find the person either on the other side of the cliff or miles away from where the canine was trying to lead us. I'm sure there's an explanation, but it's still sort of strange. Yeah, that is sort of strange. Let's see. The next one. One particularly sad case involved the recovery of a body. A 9-year-old girl who fell down an embankment and had gotten impaled on an old tree at the base. It was a completely freak accident, but I'll never forget the sound her mother made when we told her what happened. She saw the bag being loaded into the ambulance, and she let out the most haunting, heartbroken wail we've ever heard. It was like her whole life was crashing down around her, and that part of her had passed along with her daughter. I heard from another SAR officer that she had passed away herself a few weeks after it happened, as if she couldn't live with the loss of her daughter. That is awful. These aren't scary, these are sad. Okay, this one looks like it's a scary one, so let's read this one. But other than that, I think we're gonna have to ditch these ones because these are just sad, they're not scary. One of the scariest things I had ever had happen to me involved the search for a young woman who had gotten separated from her hiking group. We were out until late at night because one of the dogs had picked up her scent, and when we found her, she was curled up under a large rotted log and was missing her shoes and pack, and she was clearly in shock. She didn't have any injuries, and we were able to get her to walk back up with us to the base. Along the way, she kept looking behind us and asking why that big man with black eyes was following us. We couldn't see anyone, so we just wrote it off as some weird symptom of shock. But the closer we got to the base, the more articulated this woman got. She kept asking me to stop, or to tell him to stop making faces at her. At one point, she stopped and turned around and started yelling into the forest, saying that she wanted him to leave her alone. She wasn't going to go with him. She said that she wouldn't give us to him. We finally got her to keep moving, but we started to hear weird noises coming from all around us. It was almost like coughing, but more rhythmic, deeper. It was almost insect-like. I don't really know how else to describe it. When we were within the sights of the base ops, the woman turns to me. Her eyes are as wide as I can imagine a human could open them. She touches my shoulder and says, "He tells you to speed up. He doesn't like looking at the scar on your neck." I have a very small scar at the base of my neck, but it's mostly hidden under my collar. And I have no idea how this woman saw it. Right after she says it, I hear that weird coughing right in my ear. Oh no. And I about jumped out of my skin. I hustled her to the ops, trying not to show how freaked out I was, but I have to say, I was really happy when we left the area that night. Yeah, I would be too. That is... Yikes. Oh, whoa, you can see how many people are reading the same post. There are 8 people reading that post. It's kind of cool. Okay, let's see if we can find another one. Ooh. This one looks like it's short and sweet, so let's read this one to end off our video. Last summer, me and my brother took a walk through the woods at Silver Falls State Park. Oh yeah, and it's on r/paranormal from u/car top horse the great. Interesting. Oh, it says the title is Close Call to Becoming a Missing 411 Case. Last summer, me and my brother took a walk through the woods at Silver Falls State Park in Oregon. The forests were beautiful and cool, so we figured, why not? And took a path into the trees. We were pretty far down the path when it happened. Our cabins were far out of view and out of earshot when we turned the corner and began going up the side of a cliff, and my brother froze. I asked him what was wrong, and he was in near tears as he told me he wanted to go back. We jogged back to the cabins, and he told me he saw a black streak that was the shape of a human with a long nose, bald head, skinny limbs, dashing silently through the trees. I've never seen my brother in this state. He was crying and shaking. I've been thinking about it. Could it have been a cryptid? Maybe whatever it was. If it wasn't my brother's imagination. Is that what scratches up people in the blink of an eye in missing 411 cases? I'd love to hear any ideas or similar experiences. Thanks. Edit number 1. I want to add that it was definitely no jogger or fellow camper. I talked to my brother again, and he described it in the same way. Shorter, black, human-shaped thing running silently past before vanishing completely behind a tree. We ventured back to that spot later, that same trip, with about 4 more people. Good. And looked around and saw nothing. I want to mention that even a big raven or crow hanging around back at our cabin the entire time. I've read about skinwalkers that take animal shapes, and that particular animal form was a popular one. I've snapped some pictures of it. I'm on an iPhone currently. How can I attach a picture or send a link to these photos? Doesn't look like he ever figured that out, as this was 5 years ago and we still have no picture. But that is definitely creepy. Maybe we should read more missing 411 cases in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading of scary Reddit stories. If you did, make sure to leave a like and comment. Encourage me to make more content when it comes to these types of stories, because I can say I absolutely enjoy making them, as it is both terrifying and relaxing. Thank you guys for all your support on my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!